Hello and welcome to the Nunawading Basketball Centre. NBL1 action coming to you this Sunday afternoon. It is the Nunawading Spectres hosting the Waverley Falcons. Nunawading 6-1 at home this season and in some good form. They've won 4 of their past 5 games. And they're coming up against the Waverley Falcons, who haven't had the best season, but they've got their tails up last night, scoring their 4th win of the season, defeating Diamond Valley. Ben Waterworth with you, as is Waverley basketball expert and, of course, working at Basketball Australia as well, Liam Ellison. Good afternoon, Liam. Great to have you away from the Waverley Falcons' home ground this afternoon. What are you expecting from the Waverley girls as they enter into the graveyard?
Yeah, it's great to be here at the graveyard, Ben. Thanks for having me. The Falcons, obviously, as you said, a nice win last night, and Carly Ernst back into the lineup as well this weekend. She's been out injured, so I expect, they'll have their tails up, and they, hopefully, for them, for their sake, come away with a win here. Obviously, the Spectres, a tough team, as you said, with their form and the way they've been going. Last
night, you mentioned Carly Ernst just then. It's going to be very tough for us not to call her Carly Miovic. She got married during the last couple of months, but Carly Ernst, season high 28 points last night, and quintessentially went 6 for 10 from beyond the arc. For a player of her height, her vertical abilities is unbelievable, and scoring from beyond the arc, and that's going to be hard for the Spectres to stop this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the league's leading three-point shooters in percentage terms, and at her height, 6'5", ability to stretch the floor. It's really hard to stop, especially here in the NBL1.
In terms of, from a guard perspective as well, Samantha Donald, an assist queen, always gives her teammates and brings her teammates into the ball. Tegan Cunningham, the cross-coder, but she had a great game last night against Diamond Valley, 20 points and 9 rebounds. A lot of responsibility on this starting 5, but they do have the talent to match it with a team like Nunawading.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how they go after last week against Ringwood. It was a really up-and-down game. It was a game of runs, really.
Yep.
The Hawks got out to a double-digit lead with a few minutes to go, and the Falcons just kept coming, largely thanks to the work of Kelly Bowen. So eventually they did fall to the Hawks, but after a couple of pretty impressive performances, as you said, it's been a tough season for them at 4-9. You feel like perhaps there's a chance to go on a bit of a run here and perhaps put a few wins on the board.
It seems like they're a better side than 4-9. They've actually got the 8th best defence in the league. They only concede about 73.5 points per game. Scoring's a different issue. They're ranked 3rd last for scoring, but a lot of close losses. 6 points, 1 point, 3 points, 4 points, 4 points. There's a lot of close losses in there that could have gone either way.
Yeah, and there was that stretch where they lost about, I think, 4 games, but as you said, a total of 14 points. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. A couple of those, could have gone their way, and then we could be looking at a very different story here for Waverley.
From a Nunawading perspective, can't see Izzy Chilcott out there this afternoon for the Nunawading Spectres. She also didn't play last night, so an injury concern with Izzy Chilcott at the moment. She didn't play her first game for the season last night. So we're all set for a start here at the graveyard. It'll be Carly Miovic and Rebecca Pissy, teammates at the Dandenong Rangers during the WNBL season. So plenty of, there's even smiles before the first tip, but it'll be a fantastic contest between these two sides as Carly Ernst able to get the first tip away for the Falcons. The Falcons 4-9 so far this season. Donald finding Cunningham, and already Ernst thinking about the 3 ball, but her pass on that occasion too strong for Bowen, and the Spectres on offense for the first time.
Yeah, Carly Ernst just sensed that Bowen had the height advantage there on the smaller Chelsea D'Angelo, but just chucked it away from her arms.
Here's Antonia Udu with her first offensive possession. She almost gave it away as well, and this time she was looking for Kira Rowe, but good defense from Kelly Bowen. Such an important member of this Waverley team, Kelly Bowen. Just the 2 points from 29 minutes last night. She'll be hoping for a bigger game.
And last week, Kelly Bowen as well had a really tough start to the game shooting the ball. And then towards the last couple of minutes, as we said just moments ago, she really took off and ended up on about 17. So she can get hot in a hurry, Kelly Bowen.
Still no score. Just 25 seconds gone so far. Here's Cunningham looking for a cut inside. Ends up going for Bowen as if on cue and knocks down the first jumper of the night.
Lovely find there from Tegan Cunningham. Saw Bowen with that bit of space in the corner.
D'Angelo Hit some hot form in NBL1 this season. Shear, speaking of hot form, 9 to shoot here for the Spectres. Undecided when herself, and great defense from the Falcons. Donald steals it away, 3-on-1 against Antoniadou. It came off her foot, so still a Waverley ball, but good defense and good hustle early from the Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely. Samantha Donald just getting a hand in and was off to the races, but the kick violation is probably a professional violation, wasn't it?
Yeah, well played by Antoniadou. Now here's an opportunity for Makritsky. Good step inside and a lovely left-hand finish.
Well, that's one of her go-to moves, Ben. She loves the spin move inside the paint. Keep an eye out.
4-zip in favour of the Falcons early. Good start for them. Here's Kira Rowe working with D'Angelo and Pizzi. 3 rising stars of Victorian basketball. Rowe steps back. Foot might have been on the line. And it is just the 2, but it's an important 2 for the Spectres. Averaging the 5 points per game, Kira Rowe, starting this afternoon at the Graveyard. Donald ignored Ernst, went for Cunningham with that high release, well short. And D'Angelo brings it away. Always brings plenty of speed and energy to the court. Thought about the shot, lost control, and Donald, one of the best stealers in the game, brings it away. Makritsky v. Pizzi. There's that spin move, almost on the right-hand finish. That would have been a very special play.
She's a real spark plug, I reckon, for this Waverley team. I mean, actually one of the league leaders in offensive rebounds as well. So does a bit of everything, Renee Maczynski.
And 17 points last night against Diamond Valley. Good lobbing board for Pizzi. Just missed Shear with that pass, so another turnover. That'll be 3 turnovers on offense so far for the Spectres. Uncharacteristic from them. Cunningham in the corner. Guarded by Rowe. Donald calls for movement, calls for Ernst screen. She gets it as well. Donald has to retreat though. 5 seconds to put up a shot. Cunningham does. And can't knock it down. She's 0 from 2 from the field. Oh, D'Angelo, lovely little crossover. Fooled them all. And a lovely left-hand finish.
Went to sleep there, the Waverley defense. Great cross from Chelsea D'Angelo.
Re-signed with the Melbourne Boomers in the WNBL in the last couple of weeks. Chelsea D'Angelo hoping for some more court time in that competition. Donald, well, just at the other end, carbon copy, the seas parted for her. Donald gets her opening points of the afternoon.
She's been lively early as well, both ends of the floor, coming up with a couple of steals.
Here's Rowe from the corner, all nylon, and she knocks that one down, and it's a tied ball game. 6 apiece at the Graveyard. High intensity, fast-paced start. Donald goes to work. Now, Ernst is free, but she was fouled, Donald. Almost, you could say, a professional violation again from Antoniadou, as Ernst was open for the 3, but it'll be a sideline ball here for Waverley. So here's a chance for Donald. Working inboard. Makritsky again spinning inside. Left-hand finish just a touch short. And that was off Makritsky's hands again. So a baseline ball here for the Spectres halfway through this first term, 6 apiece. Rowe steps back, catch and shoot. Just off target, and there's Ernst bringing down that first rebound. Bowen pulls up for the 2 and knocks it down. Classy finish.
She loves that pull-up too, Kelly Bowen. Very comfortable from that range.
Antoniadou gets the screen and was fouled and can't quite get to the line, can't quite finish it rather. She will go to the line though to shoot 2. The foul is called on Samantha Donald.
And it was a nice hesitation move there from Antoniadou. Just caught the defense off guard and found her way to the hoop. And she's rewarded with a couple of trips to the charity stripe.
Averaging the 12 points per game, Rachel Antoniadou so far this season. Last night played a lot of minutes, 38 and a half minutes last night against Kilsyth for 17 points and 9 rebounds. She's good on her first 2 attempts here, and again ties the Ball game up at 8 apiece.
Impressive win as well last night for the Spectres. Kilsyth, a tough team there with obviously Lauren Nicholson.
Yep.
And,
Yeah, Paul, speaking to Coach Paul Flynn before the game, said it was a great confidence booster for the Spectres, who have hit some form, won 4 of their past 5 games, and have a really nice balance between offense and defense, averaging almost 80 points per game. Ernst, catch and shoot. Tough catch and shoot. On the turnaround, knocks it down.
no hesitation from Carly Ernst. And that's what the Falcons need if they're to get a win here today at the Graveyard.
Very tough to guard. We've got a player of Carly Ernst's height doing that. Pizzi, a deep 2. He's off target, and again, Ernst brings it down and gets it moving. McCritsky at the other end tries the tough shot, no good. Cunningham overboard, and might have just stepped out of bounds on that occasion, so it will be a Nunawading ball, but they have their backs against the wall at the moment. Down 11-8 in favour of the Falcons.
Yeah, well, the away team is mounting a challenge at the moment.
Certainly missing Izzy Chilcott at the moment. The Spectres. Shear in the post. Heads in that direction now. She's near this. Spins out, and the tough jump shot. That would have been a nice finish, but just a tad off target. And with just over 4 minutes remaining, Falcons through Ernst, pulling up. No lucky drop. And D'Angelo brings it down with authority. Puts the ball on the floor and drives hard. Chelsea D'Angelo goes solo.
Coast to coast.
Wowee. Brilliance from the 19-year-old Chelsea D'Angelo. Bright basketball future ahead of her.
And the Under-19 World Cup as well coming up next month for her with the Gems.
Ernst from way downtown. Cunningham almost picked off the O-board. In the end, Bowen did. Can't bank it off the glass, and it will be a wasn't the Spectres thought it was going to be their ball, but it was off their hands. So Waverley sideline ball with a fresh 14. Kelly Bowen to bring it in. She's, as you mentioned, Liam, having an excellent season. 14.5 points she's averaging per game.
Yeah, one of the key players for this team, absolutely the captain of the Falcons.
Donald just lost her footing. She was fouled. The foul happened before the shot, unfortunately, for the Falcons from McCritsky, who laid it in easily. So it will be a sideline ball here for the Falcons. Maybe another third professional violation from the Spectres early.
And I'm loving the player Samantha Donald as well, just getting to the right spots and creating for her teammates. Just a couple of pinpoint passes here early.
Ball in her hands again. No subs called yet for either team. McCritsky backing down on Shear. Tough shot. She was fouled. Shear thought she got all ball. Referee thought otherwise. And she will be going to the line, Will McCritsky.
Tough break there for Shear. Was towering over her, really, Maziski. So to give up the foul there is disappointing for Nunawading.
Tessa Boyd checking in, and Tony Adu takes a seat. She's got 2 fouls to her name. 3rd team foul for Nunawading in this quarter. McCritsky at the line. Normally not the best free throw shooter for the Falcons, going at 54% so far this season. And no good on both attempts, so further justifying why it might have been a professional violation before. Here's Boyd with her first touch at the Spalding. D'Angelo looking for the screen off Pizzi. Shear in the key with 5 to shoot. Backing down on Cunningham, spinning away. Has to put this up now. Boyd with 2 to shoot. Tessa Boyd well off target. And good defense from the Falcons to force a sideline ball here for them.
It was well done from Tegan Cunningham there just to come up with the stop on Schweer. She looks really proficient down low in the block, I reckon, Schweer.
And probably what it does is it allows Ernst to sort of play a little bit more outside, which is certainly her preference. He's Bowen, though, in the post. Gets a good look. Nice little hand in there from Pizzi. Not in the second occasion, though. Called for the foul, Rebecca Pizzi. 4th team foul for the Spectres, first for Pizzi. And again, the Falcons getting to the line early.
She'll be disappointed with that one. Pizzi had front position there with Kelly Bowen, but still got out-rebounded
Timeout called here at the Graveyard. And early advantage to the Falcons, 11-10. But probably just for all their dominance and great defensive work, they probably haven't got the reward on the scoreboard so far yet, Liam.
Yeah, the Spectres are certainly right there, only down by a point. It's probably been a bit of a story of the season, I think, for Waverley. I mean, we've spoken about their struggles. They've had periods where they played 5 or 10 minutes of really good basketball, but only found themselves, 4 or 5 points ahead. Yep. So, yeah, the Spectres in a very good spot still.
Yeah, 8th best defense in the league, as we mentioned earlier. The Falcons conceding just 73.5 points per game, but just struggling for scoreboard impact, averaging just to 69 points per game. Carly Ernst has been there for most of the season. This is her 12th game of the year, so hasn't missed too many games, but just need to try and find that little bit more balance scoring-wise offensively.
Well, he's one of those players at the line now who can help her out, Carly Ernst.
Kelly Powen, a good free throw shooter as well, going at 81% from the stripe. And we'll take her first 2 attempts here. Crowd just starting to stream in here at the Nunawading Basketball Centre. As Bowen knocks down her 5th point and now 6th point of this opening term. Good start from her after a quiet night offensively last night against Diamond Valley. D'Angelo pulls up, didn't try to bank it off from the stripe to no avail, and McCritski brings it down. Ernst v. Pizzi, the two Dandenong Rangers going at it, and Ernst in her face knocks it down.
How about the length and shooting of Carly Ernst? I mean, can't speak enough about how deadly that is.
The second triple, and then from the other side, almost the turnover created there by Waverley. Boyd keeps it alive, 10 to shoot. Here for the Spectres. Rowe, big 3-ball, Kira Rowe.
That'll settle the Spectres. They needed that one, wasn't it?
Against the grain, that was a big effort from Kira Rowe. She's up to 7 points early as Ernst with a mid-range floater and almost followed up with the offensive rebound off Spectre's hands. So another opportunity here for the Falcons. D'Angelo takes the seat. Rachel Brewster gets her first minutes of the game. Import just started to come into the side in recent weeks. This is game number 8 for Rachel Brewster. As Locke comes in for the Falcons. She's an exciting prospect. Ernst. Well, that was unfortunate defense from the Falcons. Ernst eats that one for breakfast.
It was a lovely screen as well that set that one up. Very nice inbound play drawn up, though, by the Waverley coaching staff.
8 points for Carly Ernst. And an 18-13 lead for Waverley. Boyd goes back. Sheer mid-range jumper off target. And certainly they haven't found their rhythm offensively, certainly from a mid-range perspective. The Spectres, almost a lovely little 1-2 between Locke and Bowen, but just off Nunawading hands. So baseline ball, 18 seconds here on the shot clock and just over a minute on the game clock in this first quarter. Substitution called as Lisa Ewan steps in, as does Cunningham. And also coming in, Sarah Ray Slater for the Spectres. Donald and Bowen take a seat for Waverley. Bowen with 6 points so far. Cunningham immediately on. Ball was knocked out of her hands, but here's an opportunity for Locke. Trying to spin away there from her opponent in Brewster. Ernst steps back. That was a tough shot even by Carly Ernst. High standards, can't get it to go. And the Spectres can just try and reel in the margin here with less than a minute in this first quarter.
Well, it was good defense from the Spectres on that occasion. They learnt from the last trip down the floor.
Slater for Rowe. And now for Brewster. Just waiting for a big game from Rachel Brewster. Maybe this afternoon might be the occasion. Shear with 6 to shoot now. Brewster driving baseline, nowhere to move. Goes inboard and Slater has to put up the prayer from the mid-range. No good. And Locke gives the Falcons a look here. No shot clock now. Down to 18 seconds in this first quarter and they will hold on to the basketball. 10 to shoot here for the Falcons. Lynn might go herself. Looking for Ernst. Stolen away there by Shear. Kira Rowe with 1 second. Kira Rowe puts it up and is well off target. Ernst did well not to give away the foul as Rowe was streaming down. But that's an impressive first quarter from the Waverley Falcons. They lead at quarter time 18 to 13. And an impressive first quarter, as I mentioned before, coming off a great win last night against Diamond Valley, 83 to 76, where Carly Ernst and Tegan Cunningham dominated, and it's kind of been a little bit more of the same from a Carly Ernst perspective. She played all 10 minutes in that first quarter, Liam. She had the 8 points as well. Kelly Bowen getting involved with the 6 points. They'd be pretty satisfied with that first quarter, Waverley.
Yeah, well, Ernst and Bowen are both fantastic on the offensive end. Ernst with a couple of threes, but for me it was the defense from Waverley.
Yeah.
That really set the tone for them. I mean, there was so many times for Nunawading where the shot clock was just winding down. There was a few late shot clock threes. They just weren't getting the opportunities that they were looking for. 2
from 5, Carly Ernst from beyond the arc in that first quarter. She loves a 3 ball, and that's no exception this afternoon. What's sort of you noticing from a Nunawading perspective? You know, Kathleen Shear played all 10 minutes and wasn't able to hit the scoreboard after a big night against Kilsyth last night. 24 points at 60% shooting from the field to go with 6 rebounds and 5 assists. She had a big night last night, but she hasn't been able to be dominant from offensively, and again puts it down probably to the Falcons' defense.
Yeah, well, she's looked dangerous, Kathleen Shear. I thought a couple of times down low she was going to score, but yeah, the defense of Waverley just helping out there. Kira Rowe with 7 points leading the way for Nunawading. She's been impressive, and as always, Chelsea D'Angelo looks dangerous, doesn't she? Just a great playmaker, gets to the right spots, and we saw at one point, of course, that coast-to-coast layup.
Yeah, she's a special talent, Chelsea D'Angelo. I'll be hoping for a little bit more from her in this second quarter and beyond, averaging the 14.3 points per game. So second quarter about to kick underway. Kira Rowe with the inbounds pass. Tessa Boyd starting this second term, as is Brewster. Shear guarded by Jess Bygate, who's onto the floor for Waverley. Here is Shear now. Yet to hit the scoreboard in this game. Might fancy herself, and she knocks it down. All class, Kathleen Shear.
Has a confidence with that move down low.
Maybe just saw the opportunity there against the bench player in Bygate. Now able to knock it down. Van der Zaag also on the floor for her first minutes. Here is Van der Zaag backing down there on Shear. That's confidence. Left-hand finish looked okay, but just a bit too hot off the glass.
She's a spark plug off the bench for this Waverley team, Jacqueline Van der Zaag. Always puts in some really good minutes off the bench.
Brewster again for Shear, who sees the opening, this time on the reverse. And what a hot start, Kathleen Shear.
Well, that was what she was threatening to do in the first quarter. The shots just weren't dropping, but a couple go in early, and all of a sudden the confidence for Shear is sky high.
We're back to a 1-point ball game. Falcons leading 18 to 17. Shear hitting the scoreboard early. 7 to shoot here for Cunningham. Locke sees the opening. All class, all confidence. Superb finish.
How about the speed there from Nia Locke? Just shook her defender and found her way to the rim for 2.
Substitution call, but it's a special play from Niadioth Locke, who had 10 points last night. Bit of a microwave off the bench as well. 10 points from 10 minutes last night. Hit 2 3 balls as well. So she takes a seat though after that play. Do all the hard work and then have to take a seat in the bench. Here's Shear. She's already got 2 buckets in this quarter. Rowe from the corner. Off target, but good offensive work there by Boyd to keep it alive. Finding Brewster, and now Boyd has it back. 6 to shoot though for Tessa Boyd. A deep 3. A bit too deep, and this time a long rebound. So a couple of opportunities off the offensive glass created here by Nunawading. Rowe for Shear. Reaching in on that time was Van der Zaag. She's called for her first personal foul, first team foul of this second term.
And you can see the influence that she's starting to have on the game, not only with the ball, but a couple of times, I mean, she got that ball down low and just drew the attention from Waverley. And Kia Rowe had that corner 3 opportunity. Didn't drop, but great signs for Nunawading.
Rowe, the idea was right. Brewster had an option in the corner. That was Boyd. She went herself in the end and couldn't knock down the deep 2. Bowen back on the court, pulls up for 2, and she missed it. And as did Rowe. Almost did all the hard work to get her body in the right position for the rebound. Couldn't bring it down, but no harm done from a Nunawading perspective. They've got a baseline ball. So both teams giving their bench ample minutes at the start of this second term. Boyd almost lost control. Good defense from Cunningham. Thought about the deep 3 attempt. Shear was, I think, going to set a screen, then got the basketball herself, put up the prayer. No good. That was a bit of miscommunication. Van der Zaag did well to find Cunningham off the pass. Bowen inboard. Van der Zaag again. Thinks about the turnaround. Falls well short. And good hustle again on offense from Waverley. Saved there by Bygate and a fresh 14. Cunningham with 6 to shoot, might go herself or find Bygate from the corner, knocks it down all net.
Great vision from Tegan Cunningham to find Bygate in the corner wide open.
And after that challenge from Kathleen Shear, Nunawading have got the last 2 field goals. But certainly a tighter quarter compared to the first, which was a little bit more free-flowing. Rowe hoping for the 1-2, good defense from the Falcons. Lisa, you weren't able to force a jump ball here. And a substitution as well. And Carly Ernst steps back in just as the Falcons starting to get some momentum. In comes their best player as well to try and put some more salt into the wounds.
And it's still starting with the defense, isn't it? The hustle from Waverley. It's really turning the momentum of this game.
One of the best defenses in the league. And now Bowen running the point. Has Donald working for her. Cunningham patrolling the perimeter. Bygate in the post. Turnaround almost went. It's a good look as well. Taken away by the Spectres. And then pulling up is Tessa Boyd for the 3. An easy rebound for Ernst. Lost her footing, but good enough to find a teammate. Bowen. Oh, foul called on that occasion on Rachel Brewster. Looked like a lot of ball, but she's not arguing too much, so might have copped some hand.
Kelly Bowen pushing the pace as well. Saw a wall of Nunawading defenders and just went straight at him, drew the foul.
Brewster's first personal foul of the game so far. And Kelly Bowen will be going to the free throw line. As we mentioned before, 81% free throw shooter. She's had a good start to this game as well, Kelly Bowen. 3 from 3 from the line. Make that 4 from 4 from the line for Kelly Bowen. And just like that, the Falcons have regained that 7-point lead. Game high. 6-0 run here. And Tonidu back on the court. Looking for Pizzi, missing Pizzi. And another turnover from the Spectres. Bowen, Cunningham, Bygate the post. Bowen for 3. Well short. An athletic rebound from Rebecca Pizzi. Just need the next basket here. Nunawading momentum all with Waverley in the past few minutes. Brewster. Big 3, Rachel Brewster.
On cue, Ben.
Yes. That was much needed for Paul Flynn and the Spectres.
And they only trail by 4 points here as well, Nunawading. Once again, with Waverley having all the momentum.
Yeah.
Not a huge lead.
Just finding the answers when they need it at the moment. Cunningham with 6 to shoot. Goes to work on Slater. And foul is called. Well played by Cunningham to draw the contact. Sarah Slater called for her first foul of the game. Second team foul for the Spectres in this quarter. And Cunningham will be going to the line. One thing I love about the Tegan Cunningham story, we all know that she's been able to go into AFLW, but during the off-season, still keen to help out in the from a Waverley perspective at NBL1, employee with basketball, Australia Basketball Victoria as well. So she's a great story, and she's having a big influence on this Waverley Falcons season.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a veteran of this Waverley Falcons organisation.
Second oldest player on the roster at 31 years of age. And the Falcons will retain the ball here. Donald with the inbounds pass. Looking for Ernst and finding her somehow. Some rough defense and a lot of contact going on in there. And in the end, the foul is called on Antoniadou. That's her third personal foul. And that's a blow for the Spectres. No doubt about that. And substitution will be called. Cunningham will take a seat. Shear will come back on, and Antoniadou will also take a seat as well. The captain of the Spectres. Certainly disheartened by foul trouble at the moment.
And Schweer as well coming back in to defend Carly Ernst, who on that occasion drew about 3 defenders there and the foul. Really giving them something to think about, Nunawading.
Ernst makes both, so she's up to 10 points. First player into double figures for the game. Carly Ernst, ominous signs from a Nunawading perspective. Brewster inboard, Shear back on the floor, turning around. A bit too deep, Ernst with another rebound. Rebound number 4 for Carly Ernst, and that's been probably, I suppose, one of her criticisms is as good as outside player as she is, she should try and make the most off the glass of her height, as McCritsky couldn't quite get the lucky roll, but good to see Ernst getting busy off the glass.
It was a great pass there from Sam Donald as well. Majitsky just couldn't convert on that occasion. But once again, Sam Donald making things happen.
Brewster feigned the shot nicely. Still 10 to shoot. D'Angelo back on the court, crossing over, looking inboard for Pizzi, who again had done all the hard work, just fumbled at the wrong time. Might have been knocked out of her hands though, so it will be still a Nunawading ball, but only 5 seconds to shoot here for the Spectres. Rowe in the corner, 3 to shoot, loses control. Brewster has to put it up, puts up the prayer, no good. Pizzi, that's easier, and that's how you do it, gets the 2.
Just fell on her lap, didn't it?
Luck's a fortune for Rebecca Pizzi. That's maybe the change of fortune at Nunawading lead. They've reduced this game back to a 5-point margin.
And Waverley need to take advantage here. The players going all their way. They can just open up a double-digit margin at halftime. They'll be in a great spot.
Inboard, McCritsky was denied by Pizzi and then stepped out of bounds. So Rebecca Pizzi with an important 30 seconds at both ends of the floor. Well played by Rebecca Pizzi, who's certainly one of the best defensive players on this Spectres lineup. Here's Brewster starting to get busy, elevating and raising up. But too deep off the shot. And Miller brings it away. Bowen driving baseline, hoping for a cut, none forthcoming. McCritsky put up an interesting reverse. Pizzi brings it away.
Just try to throw it over her head there.
Yeah.
Mazitsky.
3 minutes left in this second term. Waverley held the lead for most of the game. D'Angelo, no one came at her, and then just touched the rim, luckily. Well, might not have. Still 6 to shoot here. Brewster back for Rowe, for D'Angelo for 3. All oxygen on that shot. And a shot clock violation. Again, good defense from Waverley. And with just under 3 minutes remaining, it is the Falcons leading 27 to 22.
A couple of misses there from Chelsea D'Angelo. Hasn't had a huge impact here in that second quarter.
I think she's more confident, certainly driving to the basket, Chelsea D'Angelo.
And probably one of the players you looked for as well to make, things happen for Nunawading. Here she is right now, Ben.
Perfect chance for D'Angelo to make something happen. Saw the mismatch. So put the brakes on. Shear lost control. Well played by McCritsky to force the turnover, and Bowen brings it away. Ernst just wasn't quite to her advantage, lost control, and it's off Nunawading hands, off Kira Rowe's hands to be specific. So 17 still here for Waverley. Timeout called by Waverley, and they lead 27-22 with 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in this contest at the moment. Carly Ernst with 10 points, Kelly Bowen with 8, doing most of the damage for Waverley so far. A little bit more of an even spread of scorers for Nunawading, with Kira Rowe with 7, D'Angelo 4, and Rachel Brewster with 3. But you've watched a lot of Waverley so far this season, Liam. This will be one of their more impressive, certainly in the last couple of weeks, one of their more impressive performances away from home.
Yeah, well, they put together a nice last 3 games, the Falcons. I mean, one last night in Diamond Valley, as we said, and they're playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. I mean, really running the ball up very quickly at the moment, and possibly on that last play where it did stay with Waverley, but Kelly Bowen just tried to give it to Ernst and it went out of bounds. That was probably, a bit ambitious for mine, but it sort of illustrates how much confidence they're playing with at the moment, that they're taking those risks, which is, I think, overall good to see for Waverley.
Yeah, the Falcons sit 14th on the NBL1 ladder at 4-9, but their record and the numbers suggest they're a better side than that, and that was proven last night with a win against Diamond Valley. And then taking on the 4th place Spectres, the Spectres beat Kilsyth last night to leapfrog into the top 4, and they're really taking it up to Nunawading, the Falcons, at the Graveyard away from home.
Well, you feel like that run is coming, though, for Nunawading.
Ernst a long way from the rim. Looks for Cunningham, back for Ernst. She's not shooting from there, surely. Goes to work this time on Pizzi. Plays the point guard role. A left-hand finish off target. Kathleen Sheard plays point guard, bringing it down. And finds D'Angelo. So into the final 2 minutes of the second term. Brewster for Rowe with Ernst in her face, if you don't mind. What a shot.
3rd triple of the game for Kira Rowe.
She's in hot form from beyond the arc. Only goes at 30% from beyond the arc as well. So Kira Rowe doing the offensive damage. What have the Falcons got? Looking for McCritsky inside. Again off Nunawading hands. So still a Waverley ball, but 8 seconds to shoot.
And back to just a 2-point margin all of a sudden. Nunawading continue to come.
McCritsky for Bowen. For Donald, for Cunningham in the corner. Good look. Can't make the most of it. D'Angelo brings it away. Then Donald steals it. McCritsky, one-on-one. Ernst picks up the crumbs and knocks it down. Again, Samantha Donald having an impact defensively. Another steal created by her. And it gives the Falcons a 29-25 lead. Brewster, a lot of minutes today. For Rowe, for D'Angelo, for Shear, for Rowe for 3 again. Can't knock this one down. That's off Brewster's hand. So a Waverley ball here with 41.9 seconds remaining. So a 2-possession game in this second quarter remaining.
Well, it was great ball movement, wasn't it, there from Nunawading? The ball touched about 5 hands in 5 seconds. Unfortunately, yep. Rowe just couldn't hit the corner 3. But that's what they want for Coach Paul Flynn.
10 to shoot. Cunningham from the corner. This time can't knock it down. Donald wants to keep it in. She does, but no Falcons were there. And now it's a 4-on-5 here. Cunningham almost provided the turnover. Oh, she did. That's off Nunawading hands. So a Waverley ball with 17 seconds remaining and a timeout called. What a play from Tegan Cunningham.
Well, it's been a relatively low-scoring second quarter, especially for Nunawading. A bit to think about for Paul Flynn, isn't there?
Yeah, 12. Nunawading have had the advantage on the scoreboard, 12 points to Waverley's 11, but you'd certainly take that as, if you're Waverley at the moment, you'd take that scoring differential, because every time the Spectres have challenged Waverley, you've seen them come up with an answer. So 17 seconds remaining in this term. As I mentioned, Kira Rowe having a great game at the moment. She is up to 10 points. Rebecca Pizzi having a great game off the glass. 2 points and 8 rebounds so far for Rebecca Pizzi. And Brewster with the 3 assists from a Nunawading perspective. From Waverley, Ernst with 12 points and 5 rebounds. 4 for 9 from the field. And Kelly Bowen, 8 points and 2 rebounds for her as well, and is perfect from the free throw line. No shot clock. 16 seconds remaining for the Falcons. Big play defensively for Nunawading, but a big opportunity for Waverley. In the hands of Donald with 5 to shoot. Good defense from Nunawading. She can't find a target. Ernst finds a way through. Misses. Well played by Nunawading. Locked down on their most important players. That is the Falcons' most important players. And at half-time, the major break, it is Nunawading Nunawading trailing rather, 25 to 29 in favour of the Falcons. Liam, they'd be pretty happy from a Falcons perspective at the moment.
Yeah, well, Waverley played really well in that first half. We spoke about defence being the catalyst for them, but Nunawading, I think, would be feeling pretty good in the spot they're in. I mean, they haven't played well. Kira Rose hit a couple of nice threes, but as a whole, the offense just hasn't been flowing for them. But here they are, only trailing by 4 points, Ben. I mean, they're right there for the second half.
We'll take a short break here at the Graveyard from the Nunawading Basketball Centre and come back with the second half action. Can the Spectres make some incremental damage on the scoreboard? It is the Falcons leading 29 to 25. Welcome back to the Nunawading Basketball Centre. We are at the graveyard for this contest in NBL1 between the Spectres and the Falcons. It's 4th playing 14th, but you wouldn't know it looking at the scoreboard because at the moment the 14th place Falcons lead the 4th place Spectres 29-25. Ben Waterworth alongside our expert this afternoon, Liam Ellison. And Liam, the Falcons defensively have been super impressive so far this afternoon.
Yeah, they have. That's really been the catalyst for their first half form, but now's the challenge for them, Ben. We saw last week against Ringwood, they had a really strong first half, but again, only had that small margin, and it got chewed up in the third period. So for them, they've got to continue what they've started in the first half, and Nunawading, I think, will be feeling pretty good about the spot they're in. 4 points the margin, a couple of buckets, and you're back in front. Yeah,
game high was 7 points during that second quarter. Waverley led Nunawading 27-20, but just a couple of big buckets, particularly from Kira Rose. She's been really important. I was just overhearing Paul Flynn just as I was walking around just beforehand, and they're in a bit of a conundrum about whether to play Rachel Antoniadou at the moment because she's got the 3 fouls. She barely saw any minutes throughout that, certainly that second quarter. She's only played the 7.5 minutes really, whereas someone like Kira Rose played almost the entire 20. So they're caught in that bit of a conundrum. Their leader, one of their most, their small forward. It's a tough thing for a coach. How much time do you give your most important player when she's got 3 fouls at the start of the second quarter?
Yeah, and Kira Rowe as well, as we spoke about, it's been fantastic. Those 3 3-pointers, probably been the lone bright spot for Nunawading on the offensive end at least. I think Pizzy as well has been pretty good for Nunawading defensively, but almost undersized here. I mean, Waverley, we know Carly Ernst stands at 6'5", so a lot of height. Probably had the advantage today on that end.
Underway in the third quarter, Antoniadou is starting for Nunawading. She receives it off the inbounds pass. Here's Kira Rowe. She has 10 points. Working with Kathleen Shear. Thought about the shot with Bowen in her face. Pizzy, great cut inside. Gee, the idea was right from Pizzy and from Shear on that occasion. Execution just slightly off. A good cut inside, but off Nunawading hands and out of bounds. So first offensive look here for Donald and the Falcons. Carly Ernst starting to find some form in this competition. McCritsky stepping inside. There's that trademark work inside again, Liam. She knocks it down.
She can do that in her sleep. Renee Maziski every time on the low block.
Shear. Pizzy. Can they get the response? 6-point lead now. Antoniadou working baseline. Reversing off the baseline. No good off Shear's hands. That will not... Oh, gee, Waverley certainly thought that was their ball. They're a bit flabbergasted by the call. It will be a Nunawading ball. Certainly looked like it was off Kira Rowe or Shear's hands from that rebound attempt. Nonetheless, a fresh 14 here for Nunawading. Shear guarded by Ernst. Feeds it to D'Angelo. Bit of contact off the ball. D'Angelo for a long-range jumper off target. Pizzy turning around and falling short. And out of bounds off Bowen. So a couple of out of bounds calls going against the Falcons. And another fresh 14 seconds here for Nunawading. Antoniadou for Shear. Working on Ernst. Tough shot. Hits the deck. And another offensive opportunity for Waverley. Donald looking for the cut inside, none forthcoming. D'Angelo brings it away.
I like the idea there from Sam Donald, but might have just, pushed it a little too much there.
Again, D'Angelo thought about putting up the shot. Pizzy and Antoniadou for 3. She's no good. Bowen for Cunningham. Working it with ample pace down the court. Now Donald calls for calm. Hoping for a screen here from McCritsky or Ernst. She goes in the Ernst direction. Now working inboard, McCritsky in the no-charge area. Oh, tough right-hand finish. And a lovely right-hand finish at that as well.
And you knew as soon as that ball dropped down to her inside, she was going to score.
Yeah, really fancied herself one-on-one. Antoniadou, well, the seas parted for her, and in the end, an easy reverse layup. And she hits the scoreboard again.
There's nice work there from Schweer just to set that screen, letting Antoniadou find the wide open reverse lay-in.
Just her second bucket Antoniadou for the afternoon. Donald, McCritsky working baseline and thinking about putting up the shot, and Shears face. Then Donald with a long-range attempt all night long.
Well, this is exactly what Waverley needed. I was questioning whether they could continue it, Ben, in the third period, but they've done exactly that and almost at a double-digit lead here.
Yeah, game-high 9-point lead. Foul called on McCritsky here, but starting to get into very dangerous territory here for Nunawading. Back's really against the wall at the moment. Falcons with all the momentum. Off hands again of Waverley, so it will be still a Nunawading ball. Just 13 seconds to shoot though. Ernst up to 12 points. Donald with that big opportunity. She hit just before, up to 5 points now. 2 from 2 from the field. Here's Shear. She misses. Not necessarily a straightforward attempt, but an easy attempt than she's had so far today.
Yeah, it's a disappointing miss there for Schweer. Just after she had a couple of nice buckets in the second, has probably dropped back down and struggled from the field today.
Ernst back to height and her shooting ability, but she missed. And now Antoniadou has to stand up here for her side. Goes to work on Donald, and Shear all by herself for 3. She can't hit it. Not a lot dropping early for the Spectres. Bowen for Cunningham. Ernst told her to put up the shot, and that's why. Cunningham knocks down the mid-range jumper on instruction from her teammate, and we've got a double-digit lead.
Too much space for Tegan Cunningham. She's proficient from that mid-range.
11-point lead. Falcons lead the Spectres, and Antoniadou loses control. Bowen v. Rowe, and Kelly Bowen almost in the one motion, couldn't do it. McCritsky on the reverse. She gets another bucket, a 13-point lead, and a much-needed timeout called by Paul Flynn. He's seen enough.
Wow, how about the Waverley Falcons? In the pass ahead there from Tegan Cunningham was great to Kelly Bowen, but geez, 13-point margin, Ben. This is not what I expected coming out of half-time.
Quite an incredible third quarter so far. 11 points in 4 minutes scored by the Falcons, just the 2 for the Spectres, and there's a lot of concerned looks at the moment on the Nunawading bench. Paul Flynn scratching his head. Izzy Chilcott is there as well, sitting out this afternoon. This is an impressive third quarter start by the Waverley Falcons.
And how things can change in 24 hours. I mean, it was less than 24 hours ago that this same Nunawading team beat the Kilsyth Cobras. Plenty of reasons to believe if you're Nunawading, but geez, they'd want to get out and get on a run in a hurry, because at 13 points, if that margin goes into the fourth period, it is going to be very tough for the home side.
So the Falcons shooting at 37% from the field, but the Spectres just 30% from the field. They're normally certainly a lot better than that. Not a lot statistically sort of between the two sides, really, but just the Falcons defensively have been certainly on point this afternoon.
And the steals count. 8 steals for Waverley at just the 3 steals for Nunawading.
Yeah, that's where it's been lost. And the turnovers, an extra 5 turnovers by Nunawading, 11-6.
At times this year, Waverley has struggled to keep hold of the ball and have often really gone close to 20 turnovers. So this is really good from them.
That's gutsy from D'Angelo. The right-hand attempt in Carly Ernst's face almost went in.
Just rolled out.
Foul called on Sam Donald. That is her second personal foul, or first personal foul. First team foul, certainly, for the Falcons in this quarter. 5.5 to go. Game high 13 points as Kathleen Shear takes a seat. And Sarah Ray Slater checks in. Donald. Foul called off the ball. Still a Waverley ball. So Rebecca Pizzi with her second personal foul, second team foul for Nunawading in this term. Game, interestingly, boys, they need the next couple, Nunawading. Donald. Looking for Ernst off the screen. Might fancy yourself here on D'Angelo. 7 to shoot. Cunningham right across the court for Donald. Gets around Pizzi, then denied by Rebecca Pizzi. Huge rejection. Can that lift the Spectres? Kira Rowe for Brewster, working baseline. Got their tails up in the last few seconds here. D'Angelo hoping to work off the screen. Pizzy for three. She can't get it to go, and a strong rebound from Tegan Cunningham.
It was just the team lifter they needed. Nunawading, Rebecca Pizzy, great defence. Just couldn't get it done on the other end, though.
Can the Falcons make the Spectres pay? McCritsky looking for Ernst, or might go herself. Cunningham, top of the key. All net. 15-point lead for the Falcons. What a quarter they have produced.
She's almost automatic from that spot, Tegan Cunningham. Very comfortable at the elbow.
Rowe with 7 to shoot. D'Angelo free. Pass wasn't quite to her advantage. Has to pull up a tough shot from the stripe. Slater able to bring down the offensive rebound, then lost control and gives away the foul.
I think the Falcons bench were asking for double dribble there, but they still come up with the ball.
Third team foul. Slater with her second for the game. I did see them with the double dribble motion, the Falcons bench, but none forthcoming according to the referee. Here's Donald for Ernst. 10 to shoot for Carly Ernst. Kelly Bowen puts the ball on the floor, then a long three attempt. Falls well short. Now Brewster will bring it away. The Spectres on the form teams of the competition, having it been taken up to them this afternoon. Shear loses control. Another turnover from the Spectres.
Cunningham just came with the double and just took it right out of her arms.
Ernst for three. She's dangerous from here. A long-range attempt off target.
The travelling Waverley crowd was ready to get up and about if that one had a drop.
Nice move inside from D'Angelo for Shear. Beautiful ball movement. Shear can't get the easy one to go. Foul called on the Falcons in the end.
Great passing from Nunawading on that play, but Schweer once again, another easy miss.
Bowen called for the personal foul. It's becoming a bit of a recurring theme here. Turnovers from the Spectres, or just not being able to hit those shots. They're going at 27% from the field, Nunawading.
And their last bucket as well, coming over 4 minutes ago.
Brewster breaks that drought, finally. Rachel Brewster. But just their 4th point of the quarter so far. Donald ups the tempo. Inside McCritsky. You'll fancy her from here. Didn't quite get the right kiss off the glass. 3 minutes remaining in this term. Shear. Boyd on the court as well. She goes to work with a tough shot. No lucky roll. Carly Ernst brings it down for another rebound. That's rebound number 8 for Carly Ernst. McCritsky for Cunningham. Got around an opponent. Ernst for 3. She loves this. She can't get it to go. Gets a long offensive rebound. Can't get it to go off the glass either. Slater brings it away. And then Cunningham, again, big effort defensively. It's forced out of bounds. It's still another Nunawading ball, but just for a player of her height and the position that she plays, just the little hands that she's able to get in there, she's a handful defensively.
She's had a number of nice defensive plays today, Tegan Cunningham.
And she's
three steals, sorry,
about to
her name.
3 steals to her name. And also 3 for McCritsky as well. Rowe, there's another one, almost another one. Bygate almost forced the turnover. Rowe for 3, there's a foul, offensive foul called off the ball.
It looks to be a charging foul on Schweer.
So yeah, it's a foul on Shear. It's her second personal foul. Donald is a little worse for wear, just pointing to her sternum. She's looks a tad winded.
And it was a smart play from Donald. She saw that Schweer hadn't noticed her, just stuck herself in her way and drew the charge.
Lock on the court. Bowen, catch and shoot. Off target. Can they make it count at the other end? Brewster might back herself. Pulls up for the 2. Ample confidence and knocks it down. Some impressive plays from Rachel Brewster, who's starting to find her groove in this Nunawading lineup.
Couple of buckets in a row for Nunawading. A chance over this last minute and a half to bring it back to a single-digit margin.
Bowen, did she travel? She did. So, nice defence from Nunawading. Still an 11-point lead here for Waverley. Substitution call. Cunningham checking back in. Ernst checking out. It's an opportunity here for the Spectres. Just haven't had it their own way. 13 points to 6 in this third quarter. Reasonably low scoring game. It's probably what you come to expect though from the Falcons are on top. They normally are able to force a lower scoring game. So ball and game on their terms. Shear with 7 to shoot. Tough turnaround. No lucky roll. And Cunningham backing in. Takes the rebound. Bygate 2-on-1. Almost travelled again. Turnover nonetheless. Boyd brings it down. 3-on-3. Inboard for Shear. Guarded by Bowen. Kicks it back out. Boyd checks. 3-ball.
Here come the Spectres.
Tessa Boyd with a big team lifter. And we're back into a single-digit margin. 8 points now with 42 seconds remaining. Bowen with 6 to shoot, trying to get around Shear. Tough shot, well off target, never looked at it, but Cunningham, easy crumbs and an easy layup. That's a coach killer. Just when they had some momentum, Cunningham using all her experience to knock that one down. So about a 3-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Shear, 10 to shoot on Bygate. She fancied herself in this matchup in the second term, and Cunningham forces another turnover. And a foul called on Tessa Boyd, and the Falcons bench is up. 6 seconds remaining, they hold a 10-point lead.
Once again, Tegan Cunningham getting the hand in there for the steal. Number 4 in the game for Cunningham.
Bowen takes a seat. Van der Zaag checks in with 6 seconds remaining. And that's the 15th foul for the Spectres in this term. So they're going to have some free throws here. Lisa Ewan will take it. And she hasn't hit a free throw all year, but that's her first free throw of the season. What a time to come up with it, the veteran at 33 years of age. Knocks down both. Back to a 12-point lead. 3 to shoot here. Tessa Boyd from the car park. Well off target. Just when the Spectres had their tails up in that last minute, the Falcons come up with 4 points to give the momentum back to them at three-quarter time. We turn for home with Waverley holding a 12-point lead, 46 to 34. Entertaining third quarter, to say the least, Liam. And again, the Falcons coming up with the answers when Nunawading's backs, well, Nunawading started a challenge.
It was a really impressive third period from the Waverley Falcons. They had all the answers there, and when Tessa Boyd hit that 3, it looked like Nunawading might just bring the momentum into the last period, but then Waverley responds thanks to Cunningham, who pops up for a nice 2. Then she comes up with a steal. I mean, she's been fantastic today, as have Ernst and Bowen. All of those 3 have played really heavy minutes. They've only had about 3 or 4 minutes on the bench each between them. So Waverley looking the goods, but I wouldn't count Nunawading out.
Cunningham with 4 steals, as you mentioned. McCritsky 3, 2 for Bowen, 1 for Donald, 1 for Ernst. All the starting 5 getting in on the steals, which just goes to show how impressive they've been. But it did get out to a game-high 15-point lead midway through that third quarter. And overall, Waverley with a 17-9 third quarter to hold a 12-point advantage. And we look at some of the numbers beforehand. Nunawading was shooting at 26% halfway through that third quarter, able to get back up to 30. But it's the turnovers. Nunawading 15 turnovers. Waverley just the 7. A combination, I think, of great defence from Waverley, but a little bit of sloppiness maybe from the Nunawading side on offence.
Yeah, certainly 15 turnovers is always a big worry. And impressively, as we said earlier, Waverley have struggled a little bit this season to look after the ball, but only the 7 turnovers for them so far.
And almost you could say the game has been won in that area. Points from turnovers for both sides, as we almost see a turnover here from the restart. Waverley 12 points from turnovers. Nunawading 0 points from turnovers, and it's a 12-point lead at the moment.
Wow.
So it's not as simplistic as that, a game of basketball, but statistically that does show you a big picture of, or tell you a big story of the game so far. So foul called on Boyd. And she almost gives away another one, Tessa Boyd, really playing that hustle defense to start this fourth quarter with a 46-34 lead in favour of Waverley. Cunningham hoping to work off the screen, and she loves that mid-range jumper, Liam.
Automatic.
Put down your glasses. Tegan Cunningham with another mid-range jumper. Ewan called for the foul here. First team foul of the quarter, and Ewan's first of the game. Tegan Cunningham now up to 9 points and 4 rebounds to go with 4 steals. 4 for 6 from, almost at a 5th steal. 4 for 6 from the field, Tegan Cunningham. Catch and shoot from Slater. Sheer big offensive rebound. Kira Rowe's been good from here today. Not good on this occasion. And Locke lets it dribble out of bounds. And the Falcons get the ball back. Kira Rowe 2 from 6 from beyond the arc today. She's played a game-high 30 minutes as well. A lot asked of her. Here's Cunningham. 10 to shoot for Cunningham. Goes back to outside the perimeter. Ewan looking for a pass here. 5 to shoot. Bygate from the corner, well off target. Hasn't hit the rim. It's off none of Waverley hands anyway with a second remaining, so it will be an Nunawading ball here from the baseline, who trail by 14 points.
Here we are on the fourth period as well, and they've only got 34 points on the board, Nunawading.
Yeah.
Well, quite a low-scoring game.
Well down on their usual season average. Nunawading of almost 80 points per game. They've almost halved that in half. As Shear turning around, hopefully tries to kickstart Nunawading.
There we go. She struggled a little bit from the field today, Shear, but plenty of time to have an impact on this game.
Now what can they do defensively? Locke.
3 of 13. Yeah. She is from the field, Schweer.
Cunningham with 5 to shoot. Locke has to put it up here. Goes herself. Tough shot and somehow gets it to go. It's kind of been Waverley's day. Despite that good defense from Nunawading, they come up with an answer. Boyd gets a good screen from Slater. Cunningham still goes to her. 7 to shoot here. Brewster, tough turnaround. Oh, knocks it down. We've seen some really classy stuff from Rachel Brewster today. In a big game, 9.6 rebounds, 3 assists. Rachel Brewster. 12-point lead, 7.5 minutes remaining. Cunningham goes to work on Rowe. Tough shot. Good defense from Nunawading. Cunningham wanted a call. Gives the referee good death stare as she runs back down to the defensive end. Brewster for Shear. On Van der Zaag. Nice spin. Foul on the Falcons. He's called. Cunningham a bit perplexed.
And Locke can't believe it as well. She did well to come in there with the double, I thought.
Yeah.
But
foul's been called, looks like on Van der Zaag. So the player coming in has been called on. So Shear will go to the line, and they have not been at the line very often today at all. Have the Nunawading Spectres. Shear normally a 79% free throw shooter. And she's off target. They need to hit everything they can at the moment. But this is just the third, now coming up for the 4th attempt from the line for Nunawading today. They just have not been able to force any fouls committed by Waverley at all.
And I reckon a lot of that comes down to Waverley's defense as well, as we nearly have a turnover.
It's knocked out of, almost taken away there by Pizzy. Van der Zaag will bring it inboard as Sam Donald checks back in, who's had a real influence running the point on this game. And Donald now receives from Van der Zaag. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Donald Inboard, Bygate, wonderful little hook, and banks it off the glass.
What a play from Jess Bygate. The pick and roll. She rolled to the hoop and sealed her defender. Fantastic, smart play there from a forward.
Van Hazard got a hand in there. Try to fool the referee into thinking that was off Nunawading hands, but it's not. Sub call. D'Angelo checks back in. Kira Rowe will take a seat. A rare time this afternoon, Kira Rowe. A bit of a breather before she has one last crack at a comeback, but it's looking tough at the moment for the Spectres. 13-point lead here for Waverley. Defensively, they have been awesome. Pizzi with 10 to shoot. Feeds D'Angelo. Ran in straight into Bygate, and then had the tough shot, and then well played by Bygate to finish up with the rebound.
Just 4 points to her name this afternoon, Chelsea D'Angelo. Like a lot of Nunawading players, hasn't been her night, but here she is.
There she is. Can she make it 6? Pulls up. Frustrated there as she was forced to retreat. Shear, though, well, it's a rush shot. Looked like she had more time than she anticipated, but nonetheless gets the lucky roll, and it's back to an 11-point game.
Well, at 11 points, it's almost now or never territory for Nunawading.
9 points for Shear. Cunningham. She has been brilliant for her side. Can't knock down that mid-range. Bygate. Another superb play in this final quarter from Jess Bygate. And you can see the frustration from Antoniadou. She didn't want to bring that ball in bounds. Demanded that Pizzi bring that one in. And it's back to a 13-point lead now for Waverley. Pizzi feeding it back. Look at that hustle defense from Donald. D'Angelo probably took a step too many, but she drew the contact. Bygate is called for the foul. Her first personal, third team foul for Waverley in this game so far.
I love that from Chelsea D'Angelo. They need more of that Nunawading. We just spoke about how they've only had 2 trips to the line this afternoon. That aggression, just getting to the line for a couple of easy 2 points.
Yeah, to the naked eye, you could have thought she had an opportunity there to put up like a nice little mid-range jumper, but she took the extra couple of steps to drive to the basket and get to the free throw line. She's good from her first attempt as well. Chelsea D'Angelo was 76% shooter from the stripe. This for an 11-point margin. She does knock it down. 54-43, 5.5 left in this game. Everything needs to go right now for the Spectres. Easier said than done. Here's Ernst. She's been a little quieter on the scoreboard in the past couple of minutes. In fact, probably in the last 10 minutes, you could say, deep into this quarter. Antoniadou. The foul called off the ball. Looks like it's on the Falcons. Looks like it's been called on Samantha Donald as well. So that's their 4th team foul. So that's handy for the Spectres. They've now got Waverley 1 away from the foul bonus. Now Antoniadou with 16 seconds just finds Pizzi. She goes baseline. Back to Antoniadou. D'Angelo is free for 3. Antoniadou took the shot and missed. Probably just didn't see Chelsea D'Angelo, who was wide open.
Did well to shake Cunningham with the pump fake. Just couldn't convert, though, on that mid-range jumper.
Bowen for Ernst. 8 to shoot here. Ernst lobs it for Cunningham. For Donald. Ernst from a long range. Carly Ernst! It looked all right off the hand, but certainly didn't look anywhere near the rim in the end.
I think the Waverley bench was ready to explode if that had dropped.
Seen a number of times across many competitions, not just in Australia, but in Romania as well. Carly Ernst, so good from beyond the arc, but well beyond the arc as well. 11 points, 4.5 minutes. Time is now becoming a big enemy of the Spectres. Shear working baseline, just keeps it in for D'Angelo. She's got 3 to contend with here. Kicks it out for Pizzi. Antoniadou for 3. Oh, didn't look right off the hand at all. And the Falcons crowd, and it's a healthy Falcons crowd that have assembled here at the Graveyard. Very pleased with that play.
Well, the Spectres look a little worse for wear at the moment. A couple of heads dropping at the moment. It is an 11-point margin with 4 minutes to go. It's going to be tough.
It is a young Spectres outfit as well. A lot of teenagers and and girls in their early 20s as well. So need some experience here as Bowen steps up. And Ernst reaches over the top, can't quite pull it away. She helps her WNBL teammate up in Pizzy. Oh, Brewster, the lob pass just had a bit too much air on that one. Allowed Bowen to turn it over. Ernst for Bowen. And now they use their experience. Waverley, they know they've got time on their side. They lead by 11 points. And in a low-scoring game, it's going to be tough for Nunawading to make it up in this short space of time. Cunningham, a mismatch here against Antonia Du. Oh, hits the deck hard. Tegan Cunningham off that superb offensive rebound. It's a big thud around the Nunawading Basketball Centre. We hope she's okay. Slow to get to her feet. And she's good to keep on going. Inspirational, though, from the Waverley Falcons veteran.
She hit the floor really hard. You hope she didn't hit her head there, because you could hear the thump from here.
Able to walk off unassisted in the end. A timeout called here at the Nunawading Basketball Centre, called by Paul Flynn. 56-43.
And just on that last play, it was great to get the switch onto Antonia Du. They had the mismatch. Cunningham sealed down low and got it to go. They've had that on a couple of opportunities today, Waverley. Doing fantastic work to create the mismatch.
Has been a real team-orientated performance as well. It looked like Carly Ernst was going to tear the game to shreds early, but she's dropped off offensively. But Cunningham stepped up, Bowen stepped up, and even Sam Donaldson a couple of important baskets, and Bygate off the bench as well. So that'd be one of the most pleasing things from a Waverley coaching perspective, is how even the performance has been, Liam, across the board.
Yeah, and I reckon Tegan Cunningham for me has probably been the player of the game so far. I mean, Carly Ernst started off red hot, but Cunningham has done a bit of everything. 11 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, and 4 steals.
Yep. Going at 50% click from the field as well, Tegan Cunningham. Need some big buckets now, the Spectres. D'Angelo for Brewster, who thought about the three. Donald for D'Angelo. Needs a screen here to put up a shot. Just a bit rushed, everything at the moment. Brewster gets a good look and knocks it down. Rachel Brewster in the double figures. 12.7 rebounds, arguably her best game in the Spectres outfit so far, Rachel Brewster. 10-point ball game. Still 2 minutes, 48 seconds, so that's a long time in a basketball game. Donald with 6 to shoot. Carly Ernst working her way inboard, uses up all the shot clock. She was fouled. Oh, that's a dagger for the Spectres, because it now means Ernst, who wasn't really putting up a clean shot for that attempt, will go to the line, and she's a good free throw shooter as well. 89% free throw shooter, Carly Ernst, and she's knocking down the first one. You saw a couple of heads drop before, Liam. That's really going to take some air out of the sails of Nunawading. She does miss the second one rather. So now an 11-point ball game. 2.5 to play. And Antonia Du goes to work. Wants to kick it out. Brewster is there. Shear steps inside. D'Angelo working off the Pizzy screen. 8 to shoot. D'Angelo just has not been her afternoon at all. There's again, this time Bowen hitting the floor. And a foul called on Rebecca Pizzy, her third personal foul, third team foul of the quarter so far.
She's battled hard today, Rebecca Pizzy. I thought her defense has been really good, especially after the first period. Ernst got out to a really hot start, hitting all those threes. But since then, I think she's been, really serviceable, defending Ernst down low.
9 rebounds to show her work defensively. Oh, beautiful ball movement from the Falcons, and Bowen almost finishes off the good work. 2 minutes left. Brewster pulls up for 3. Rachel Brewster! She's announcing herself to the NBL1 competition this afternoon.
The confidence to pull up there in transition. Brewster keeping the Spectres with a glimmer of hope here.
8 points, the margin. 15 now for Rachel Brewster. That's a game high as well. Good cut inside from Cunningham. She was fouled. Count the points, and she's going to the line as well.
What a pass from Jess Bygate. That was just perfectly timed. thread the needle to Cunningham, who's got the chance for one more.
She's played great minutes this afternoon off the bench, Jess Bygate, up to 17 minutes. That's 6 points, 5 rebounds, and her first assist. That's a ripper of an assist as well for Tegan Cunningham. And she's good on that free throw attempt, and that really makes it tough now for Nunawading after that 3-point play.
She's been fantastic this afternoon, Tegan Cunningham.
Particularly since half-time. D'Angelo gets a screen from Shear. Brewster again for 3. She can't miss! She can't miss from beyond the arc, Rachel Brewster.
She wasn't even set when she shot that. Off balance, Rachel Brewster.
Back to 8 points. The problem is now for the Spectres is that if they foul, they're in the bonus. That's the awkward conundrum. 8 to shoot here for Sam Donald. She's going to use it right up. And Tonya Duvu Cunningham, who just lost her footing, it'll force a rush shot. Donald from the car park, well off target. Shot clock violation. Exactly 1 minute to go, and an 8-point ball game. And if you're Nunawading at the moment, you're getting the ball in the hands of Rachel Brewster.
Yeah, she has been red hot. And how about Antonia Du,
yep.
Just pulling the chair on Tegan Cunningham. She lost her balance. Great defensive play, really smart.
18 points for Brewster. She's handing it off here to Pizzi. Antonia Du, 50 seconds. Brewster again. She's got the hot hand. She kicks it out. Pizzi for 3. No good. They're probably going to have to foul now, or at least thinking about fouling the Spectres. Cunningham slows down the tempo. That would have made it really interesting if Pizzi had knocked that one down. D'Angelo finally fouls. They're into the bonus. And D'Angelo was called for her 3rd personal foul and the 5th team foul of the 4th quarter on the Spectres. And it means that Tegan Cunningham will be going to the stripe.
Well, Waverley did well there just to rush at Rachel Brewster and get the ball out of her hands. We know she has the hot hand. Make someone else beat you.
Well, she had a great weekend, Tegan Cunningham, last night against, on Saturday night, I should say, Tegan Cunningham against Diamond Valley had the 20 points and 9 rebounds. And she's been inspirational in this second half. She's up to 16 points now, Tegan Cunningham, to go with 5 rebounds. And Tonya Du gets a screen from Pizzi, and on the 3 attempt is no good. Donald brings down the rebound. Shot clock is over. They'll play hustle defense now. Waverley will bring the ball into their offensive end of the court, but this has been some victory by the Falcons. Had a tough NBL1 campaign in 2019 to date, but led by their 2 star bigs. Sam Donald does a dance while dribbling, but that is some awesome victory from the Waverley Falcons. 62 to 52. Normally the Nunawading Spectres score upwards of 80 points per game. Today they were restricted to just 52, and the Falcons win their 2nd consecutive game and their 5th for 2019, taking their record to 5-9, and a big blow for the Spectres, who now move to 10-5. Liam Ellison, what a performance from the Waverley Falcons.
Absolutely. That was, I would think, the best game of the season so far for Waverley in a really impressive 3 weeks. I mean, last week, against Ringwood, they nearly came up trumps there without Carly Ernst. Now she comes back here in round 11. They beat Diamond Valley and then beat Nunawading here at the Graveyard. I mean, this is a team that if a couple of those results had gone their way early on, they could be sitting much higher up on the table, I think.
Yeah, they're a better team than their record suggests, no doubt about that. The Waverley Falcons, they were led superbly by the 2 bigs again. Cunningham, 16 points, 5 boards. Ernst, 13 points and 9 boards. Some great minutes as well from Bygate off the bench. 6 points and 5 boards, 8 points as well for McCritsky and Bowen. But Nunawading today, the stars were down. Shear only had 9 points, Rowe had 10. But the story for Nunawading from a positive perspective, Rachel Brewster, how about that performance in the last quarter to finish with 18 points, 7 boards and 3 assists?
Well, she gave Waverley something to think about. Some of those threes were ridiculous. There was one where she wasn't even facing the bucket when she let it go. Unbelievable. Rachel Brewster.
Great stuff from her, but it was Waverley Falcons afternoon here at the Graveyard. 62 to 52 victors over the Nunawading Spectres. Liam Ellison and Ben Ward have been with you for the call. If you're sticking around to watch the 2 teams go at it again, we've got the men's game coming up very soon between the Falcons and the Spectres. But in NBL1 Women's, it was Nunawading losing to Waverley, the Falcons winning 62-52.